you don't realize in your day-to-day life, I've just written these first 2 chapters and they're in the daily laws, so you'll see about them. I've given you some excerpts from the new book, but it's insane that you live in a world the way it is right now. If you study the history of the cosmos and how unlikely it is that the Earth ended up being the way it is, and how rare it is that there may not be life on other planets. If there is, the rarity of the life that we know of, the animals, the evolution, the technology that we have. And then if you look at the course of evolution and how improbable it is that humans ever evolved, even existed 60-some million years ago, dinosaurs would still be around, on and on and on, multiplied by the 70,000 generations of Homo sapiens that preceded you. So let's say your parents had never met, you would not be here, Jay. You'd be combined in something else. Okay, and think of the narrow possibility that your parents hadn't met. Multiply that by 70,000 other generations, trailing all the way to the first Homo sapiens. It's astronomical. The odds that you exist, that you're breathing, that you're looking at a world with plants and animals, etc., is staggering. And you never think about it. What isn't really something you're supposed to think, isn't something you're supposed to do, isn't a behavior or a value you necessarily are encouraged to have. But when your mind touches it, tickles it a little bit, whoa, it jolts you alive. There's another way of thinking. There's another way of being in this world. How exciting. And that's what makes people search for transcendental experiences, what Maslow called peak experiences. That's why they climb mountains and almost get close to death and falling, because it gives them that jolt of being alive. It shakes them up. The ultimate thing outside that circle is death itself. It's the ultimate unknown. It kind of creates a sort of a seductive process where your spirit is entering their head, as opposed to them being so filled with you that they want to vomit and get rid of you. You're creating an appetite where they want to now know more. It's an incredibly powerful dynamic. So learning how to absent yourself in this social media age is extremely important. And it's not easy, I know, where you're trying to always post something on Instagram. It's not just absent, it's just creating a sense of mystery. So people have the sense that they don't thoroughly know you so that they can disdain you. You want to keep them on their toes and occasionally do something unpredictable that will surprise them. That's sort of the art here. I don't know, I have 3. I have 2 that come to mind. Maybe a 3rd will come to me in a few minutes. The first one is you have to be able to get outside of yourself. So in this sense, seducing is very healthy. It means that normally where a lot of men go wrong in particular is they're thinking about themselves all the time. They're thinking, does she really like me? Am I really saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? I've got to try really hard to make sure that she actually likes me. And they're inside their own thoughts and their own world. And what they need to do instead, and this applies to women as well, is get inside the other person's world. That's the key to seducing them, to understand Michaela, her childhood, her needs, what she has and what she lacks in life, her weaknesses, her vulnerabilities, what will put a smile on her face, what will excite her. I give people a very banal example. You're looking for a restaurant, you're with your friend, your girlfriend, boyfriend, and you pass by a restaurant, it looks kind of nice, but there's only one couple sitting at a table in a rather vast room, and you go, even though you don't admit it, you go, nah, let's look at somewhere else. And you pass by this restaurant, it's packed with people, they're all laughing and drinking, you go, yeah, let's go in there. There must be a reason, right? A lot of our human desires are based on what other people are desiring. There are very interesting intellectuals who've written about that. The mimetic, the imitating aspect of our desire. If other people think something is cool, there must be a reason for it. I must think, maybe I should think that it's cool. Well, that's the coquette. And although we traditionally associate the coquette with women, there are plenty of male coquettes out there. And the idea is, you know how to be hot. In other words, to be excited by that other person, to send them looks that show that you're interested in them, to do things that show that you're interested. And once they take a step towards you, you now take a step back and you blow kind of cold and you're not so attentive and you don't return their texts right away and you don't return their phone calls. And they start wondering, he or she was really into me, but now they don't seem to be so into me. Is it my fault? Did I do something wrong? I better try even harder to get their attention. So you chase them and then maybe they get hot again and they excite you because they have to keep the flame flickering, otherwise it'll die out. And then they step back